Okay. Is this on? Wait. Okay, so I got this down in just over 8 minutes. And after that, you guys can go to dinner. Go back to dinner. But for those of you who don't know me, my name is Patrick McDonough. I was a Peace Corps volunteer in Bontup for Mountain Province for 5 years. I lived in a little Coven house in Acapulco, and my main project was the Bontup Museum. I had the great honor of working with Mother Basile on that project. I'd like to tell you a story about Mother Basile. Back in the 1950s, she was asked to make a propaganda film. That was how she described it. The intent was to take the film back to Belgium to solicit more funds to support the Bontup mission. So Mother Basile took the film and sent it back to Belgium. When the folks from Belgium saw the film, they were set back because all the people were naked. I didn't even see them as naked, Mother Basile said. So they sent Mother Basile a box of bras. Remember, this is from the Catholic Church, and in her eyes, directly from the Pope. So here's what she did. She had a certain route visiting all the barrios. She walked to Mainit, then Sakasaka, and then Sidanga, then Saklit. She told all the mothers, next time I come, please bring your infants. So Mother Basile went back to Bontup and started sewing baby bonnets from the bras. Then, as she visited each barrio, she distributed the bonnets and still fulfilled the wishes of the Pope. So tonight I'm going to talk to you about Igorot, about where I think we're going as a people, about this interesting place we find ourselves in, about the pressures we face, and most importantly about what I think we need to do to insert simple reminders into our lives so that we remember who we are and where we come from. I have two thoughts I want to explain to you independently, then I want to try to bring them back together and show how they're related. What I'm trying to explain is where I think our culture is going. The first thought I wanted to talk about was the concept of an Igorot nation. This is really the time to consider the concept of one Igorot nation. All of the Cordilleran people are at a very unique time in history. If you've ever read Malcolm Gladwell, he writes about social phenomena. One of his books teaches about socio-cultural tipping points. And tipping points are described as like epidemics, where small changes add up and have large impacts. Points in time where some balance changes. And once that balance changes, then social change happens at a very rapid pace. For the first time, we're approaching a demographical tipping point that could change the Igorot psyche. I'd like you to consider the incessant migration away from our villages over the last 40 to 50 years. People left the village to work in the mines, people went to school or to work in the cities, and many, many people like us who immigrated to other countries. Even the people who simply married someone from the next village and then went there to live. For a long, long time now, there's been this steady flow of people leaving our villages. Those folks had children, now their children have children. They left the barrios and they multiplied. That has a compounding effect. We're approaching a point, maybe even have passed the point in some places, where more people who associate themselves as, say, Mainit, live outside the village of Mainit. It's an interesting thought, and that's the tipping point. Let me give you an example about Mainit. The 2008 census showed 1,124 people living in Mainit. As an example, let's say 100 people leave Mainit and each have 4 children. That's 400 people. They each get married and have 4 children. That's 1,600 people. Already more than live in Mainit. So how many people have immigrated from Mainit? My guess is thousands. Thousands. So you can see how we got to this point. And if you take it one step further, eventually will come a time when more people from each village live in a different country. It's happening now. It's just straight math. The point is that our Igorot nation is already larger than many people imagine. Whoops. So what does this global Igorot nation mean for our future? First, it becomes very obvious that the fabric of our culture will be stretched threadbare and influenced by many outside forces. Those forces make it much more difficult to retain an Igorot identity. You can see it already, and those of us a little longer in the tooth, we see it most clearly. This provides some daunting challenges but some great opportunities. One of our major strengths is that no matter where we go, we continue to identify ourselves as Igorot. Bebop San Diego is perhaps one of the largest chapters of its kind. 500 members, okay? Our children have parents who come from all over the Court area, from every province. Yet our children don't see themselves as different. They don't see themselves as coming from one province or another. They see themselves primarily as Igorot. Looking at themselves as equals, they recognize their tribal heritage, but identify themselves primarily as Igorot. This concept is important. This is the seed for uniting us. I imagine it's the same for many of our second generation kids here tonight. So how does this relate to Bebop and Igorot organizations all over the world? Let me tell you a story about a Bebop meeting in San Diego. It was held at Royal Park. It was also our Mother's Day celebration, and everybody brought along a dish. At 8:30 a.m., a group of dedicated men show up at the park with two objectives. One, to butcher up and cook the pig. And more importantly, to teach the Bebop youth how to butcher and cook a pig. Now for me, I learned much more about Igorot culture and Igorot values while butchering a pig than I ever did learning how to dance. The dance is in some ways a celebration of everything that happens while butchering. Working together, unity, respect for the village or the IGO. So there's over 100 people there. The women are busy preparing food and setting the table. A group of men are gathered around the grill. The elders are sitting together on lawn chairs, sharing stories, and groups of children, divided by ages, are all around. I'm sitting back taking pictures and thoroughly enjoying this whole scene when it hits me. Holy crap. This is so much more than just a Bebop gathering. This is the whole fully functioning village. A 21st century Igorot village. A village in this new global nation. So where does that leave Bebop and how do we tie into the global community? Look around. This is our village, okay? We are part of the global nation. Bebop like Las Vegas is another village. Bebop Virginia, Seattle, Ottawa. A couple years ago they started Bebop Moscow. Hong Kong, Australia, Europe. They're all villages. That's what I'm trying to say. That's where we're going. Today's the Igorot nation doesn't know boundaries. All of us here are more important than ever before. Because of these changing demographics, what we do here represents the entire nation. We make a significant contribution to that nation. Bebop and IGO are more important now than ever before. And in many ways, the IGO officers are the village elders. They're the glue which holds the village intact. Our council of elders who provide the credibility, they serve as diplomats with other Bebops around the states and in the international community. I encourage our officers to remain cognizant of this global nation and reach out to organizations. I encourage all of us to partner with the IGO because their mission, our mission, is to unite all these villages to provide strength and unity. We got here because of the sacrifice of previous IGO leaders. Most of us, can I take this with me? Yep. No? Most of us know the previous torch carriers. Some were the obvious leaders, many more behind the scenes. Many are in this room tonight. Thank you, Mia. Okay. They've carried our torch during this transition, our Olympic torch. Tonight we get to stand on the shoulders on their shoulders, and we move IGO into the future. Being an officer is a lot of hard work. And frankly, the pay stinks. So as we induct these new set of officers, let's remember their dedication and commitment, in which we all benefit so greatly. So, how do we remember how to install symbolism, little reminders of where we come from? First of all, we need men and women to say ritual prayers. Where's Charlene? That is the most direct connection. Women had a much stronger position among Igorots than is commonly believed. The prayers can be in English. They need to be in English, right? Nacho, in Bontok they call it Sanachio. That's universal among Igorots. When someone dies, let's take 2 poles and put them behind the coffin. Okay? Christian prayer, then the native prayer. Maybe you want to sit down during the native prayer. Thanks so much for the opportunity to talk to you tonight. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. The slideshow, which you didn't get to see, went on for another 20 minutes. But I took many of the photos and collected the rest along the way. So, thank you so much.
a lot of wise words tonight. I hope you are going to go home and digest them and inwardly learn and digest them. The Igorot Global Organization Certificate of Appreciation is presented to Patrick McDonough, Speaker on One Global Nation, IGO IIC 12. Signed this 3rd of August 2018 at the Halikoa Hotel, 2055 Pavilion Road, Honolulu, Hawaii. Gloria Simon, President, IGO.
Woo!